A once dominant video rental chain has filed for bankruptcy, and some movie renters say it could mark the end of an era.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for times when titans of industry said or did something so disconnected from reality, so profoundly lacking in self-awareness that you just had to wonder what planet they were living on.
He is in a bubble of like the wealthiest people. He has that just came off so tone deaf completely.
Don't like your commute? Find another job, says Jamie Dimon.
So this audio and bit of context for folks who haven't been tracking this whole saga. About a month ago, JPMorgan announced a 5-day in-office mandate. It's set to go into effect in early March. Immediately, the backlash internally was quite swift.
In the post-pandemic world, as many companies grappled with hybrid work models and the general reluctance of employees to return to the office full-time, JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon was a vocal proponent of getting back to the cubicle. Amidst this push, the multi-billionaire executive brushed off employee concerns.
Not paying attention, not reading your stuff, and if you don't think that slows down efficiency, creativity, creates rudeness, and stuff, it does, okay? And when I found out that people are doing that, you don't do that in my meetings. You go to meet with me, you got my attention, you got my focus, I don't bring my phone, I'm not sending texts to people, okay? It simply doesn't work.
Said Dimon, I completely understand why someone doesn't want to commute an hour and a half every day. Totally got it. Doesn't mean they have to have a job here either. This sentiment inadvertently highlighted the chasm between the daily realities of the average worker and the gilded cage existence of a top-tier CEO.
They simply didn't exercise managerial skill. Everyone gave everyone everything, including people at my management table, by the way. And I eventually said, I've had it with that.
Marissa Mayer fails to embrace the future.
37-year-old Marissa Mayer has been a controversial figure since taking the helm at Yahoo last year. On the day she accepted the job, she announced she was pregnant. She then made headlines again by taking only 2 weeks maternity leave. And now another firestorm. No more working from home.
Back in 2013, as Yahoo was struggling to find its footing and the concept of remote work was slowly being mainstreamed, then CEO Marissa Mayer made a controversial call. She abruptly ended the company's work from home policy, mandating that all employees return to the office, arguing it was essential for collaboration and innovation to turn the company around.
To become the absolute best place to work, communication and collaboration will be important, so we need to be working side by side. Mayer's move lit up the internet, with even CEOs weighing in. Richard Branson tweeted, "Give people the freedom of where to work and they will excel."
This rigid stance was met with widespread criticism, painting Mayer as a leader out of touch with modern workplace flexibility and the growing desire for work-life balance. Despite the bold move, the forced return to physical offices ultimately did little to revive Yahoo's flagging fortunes, further cementing the perception that the decision was more about control than true productivity.
Silicon Valley has become known for its employee perks, and even Yahoo gives free food and an iPhone 5. So this more traditional move has some scratching their heads.
To basically say that, no working from home, and pretty much no working from home ever, no matter what the circumstances are, truly makes it feel sort of like an anti-parent, in many ways, anti-female workplace.
McDonald's CEO suggests that poor financial planning, not low wages, is the problem.
Wow, this isn't what they intended with this. Explain a little bit about this budget guide that they put out and why it's coming under scrutiny right now.
Well, it was intended to help their employees figure out how to balance their budget and not overspend.
Good intentions.
Good intentions. But what it showed is that the costs that they anticipate are not very realistic.
When McDonald's, a global giant built on the backs of its low-wage workers, attempted to offer financial advice, it predictably went sideways. Back in 2013, a budget planner created by the fast food chain for its employees under the tenure of CEO Don Thompson became a viral sensation for all the wrong reasons.
That 1,105 number, right? That's what it would be if you're working one job, but that doesn't match the total monthly expenses at the bottom, $1,260. So
they expect you to have to pick up a second job,
right,
to make another nearly $1,000. So it's a lot of hours that they anticipate you're working.
The proposed budget was spectacularly unrealistic, failing to account for basic living expenses like food or suggesting that employees hold multiple jobs to make ends meet. This infamous planner showcased a glaring disconnect between the corporate suite and the harsh economic realities faced by the very people flipping their burgers.
It just wouldn't cut it.
It wouldn't cut it. And a few other things. I mean, cable phone, that's fairly realistic, but heating, they put $0. I think they're expecting that if you're renting, your heat might be included. that may or may not be the case depending on where you're living.
Wayfair's return to prosperity comes at its employees' expense.
What is it that makes the most sense for me to do and, to help the company flourish? And as you get bigger, you realize that some of the tendency to do certain things yourself would actually hurt the company's ability to progress. And so that sort of started to denote, what the team needed to be organized like and what type of leaders you needed.
At the end of 2023, Wayfair CEO Niraj Shah sent an email to employees celebrating the company's return to profitability, which should have been a moment of collective relief. However, the message quickly veered into a different, more demanding territory. Shah explicitly told his workforce that they should expect long hours and blend work and life to ensure continued success, effectively framing an unhealthy work culture as a positive outcome. This statement was widely perceived as tone-deaf, suggesting that employees' personal lives should be subsumed by corporate demands, rather than acknowledging the need for sustainable work-life balance. It drew criticism for celebrating burnout rather than rewarding hard work with better conditions.
Basically, what I've always found is once we got a little bigger, you're basically spending your time on, a modest amount of time, ideally, making sure you know how everything is going. And then more of the time on whatever's not going well, helping it get going well, or whatever is new or needs to go in a different direction, and that's something maybe you have in your head, and helping it get going.
Herman Miller, CEO, books employees a one-way ticket out of Pity City.
The clip was taken from a 75-minute town hall meeting last month. In the video, Owen is initially calm, telling employees to control what they can control, like being kind and providing the best customer service. But her tone then shifts.
During a virtual town hall meeting, MillerKnoll CEO Andy Owen found herself at the center of a firestorm after addressing employee concerns amidst rising inflation. Owen urged employees to stop worrying about potential missed bonuses and instead focus on achieving the company's financial goal of $26 million.
Spend your time and your effort thinking about the $26 million we need and not thinking about what you're going to do if we don't get a bonus. All right? Can I get some commitment for that? I would appreciate that. I had an old boss who said to me one time, you can visit Pity City, but you can't live there. So people, leave Pity City, let's get it done.
The backlash was swift and intense. After the video spread online, critics slammed Owen for being dismissive and out of touch with her workers' financial struggles. Within days, MillerKnoll employees and the public demanded accountability, noting the CEO's multi-million-dollar pay. Owen issued an internal apology claiming her comments were misinterpreted, but the damage to her reputation was done.
An internal communications email obtained by NBC News from 2 verified MillerKnoll employees details an apparent apology by Owen, saying in part, quote, I try to always pick the right words and tone to inspire and motivate, adding, I feel terrible that my rallying cry seemed insensitive.
Braden Wallach finds out how much his tears are really worth.
This is interesting, and I haven't quite worked out where I stand on this yet. Let me get to that in a moment. We're talking about the CEO of an Ohio marketing firm. His name is Brandon Wallach, and he posted this selfie that you're looking at right there of himself crying after he had to lay off some of his workers.
Hypersocial CEO Braden Wallach went viral in 2022 after posting a tearful selfie on LinkedIn following layoffs at his company. In the post, Wallach expressed regret and heartbreak over letting employees go, claiming he felt personally responsible. The image quickly spread across social media where reactions were sharply divided. Critics accused him of turning employee hardship into a self-promotional spectacle, calling the post tone-deaf.
Some people were very sympathetic. They said, yeah, this is a very hard thing for anyone to have to do, and we feel your pain, and that's valid. Others said, dude, that's a bit much. This is part of your job, and moreover, you're making this about yourself and not all the people who have just lost their jobs, who undoubtedly are probably crying as well.
Others defended Wallach for showing emotional vulnerability in a corporate world that often discourages it. He later clarified that his intent was to acknowledge the pain of leadership decisions, not to seek sympathy. Not that that mattered to online commentators who cringed at Wallach's perceived performativity.
It doesn't have to be this big emotional type of social media site. I mean, I don't know about you. I see some content. It's not just CEOs crying where I just kind of roll my eyes. I'm like, really? Here on LinkedIn? What are we doing here?
Michael Rapino doesn't think you're paying enough for concert tickets.
We just did the Beyonce tour. She's got 62 transport trucks outside. That's a Super Bowl she's putting on every night. 10 years ago, there might have been 12 trucks. So these artists are doing their job, elevating that game. And when you come to that show, it's a fabulous experience. So yes, the cost has gone up, but the investment and the experience.
Okay, what's happened to margin?
Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino managed to anger pretty much everyone after claiming that concert tickets are actually underpriced, arguing that fans still pay less for live music than for sports events. Critics blasted the billionaire executive for being tone-deaf amid inflation and rising costs for concert goers, especially given his company's dominance through Ticketmaster.
For you, music is a better business, though, than selling tickets for sports, I assume.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think music has been underappreciated. I always joke, sports, it's like a badge of honor to spend 70 grand for a Knicks courtside. They beat me up if we charge $800 for Beyonce, right?
Artists like Jack Antonoff publicly condemned the remarks as heartbreaking, calling for bans on ticket resales above face value. Rapino defended his comments by citing higher production expenses and relatively low average ticket prices. The controversy erupted just as Live Nation and Ticketmaster faced renewed federal scrutiny over alleged anti-competitive and deceptive practices.
First of all, you charge more for that than Beyonce, but like,
yeah.
who are you talking
I
about?
know.
Who's spending that much money?
That's insane.
After a monumental scandal, Tony Hayward only had himself in mind.
We're sorry for the massive disruption it's caused to their lives. And, there's no one who wants this thing over more than I do. I'd like my life back.
Life here may never be the same. The water and all that lives in and around it could be harmed for years.
In the aftermath of the catastrophic Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010, which devastated the Gulf Coast, costing lives and livelihoods, BP CEO Tony Hayward delivered one of the most infamously insensitive corporate comments in recent memory. As millions of gallons of oil spewed into the ocean and countless communities faced economic ruin, Hayward made a public declaration he instantly regretted.
It's not just Hayward's reputation that's taken a hit, so has his personal fortune. Hayward's 623,000 shares of BP were worth almost $38 million the day the oil rig exploded. In the 46 days since, their value has dropped by more than a third, almost $14 million.
The statement instantly sparked widespread outrage, perfectly encapsulating a profound disconnect between the personal inconvenience of a wealthy executive and the immense suffering of those directly impacted by the environmental disaster. It became a symbol of corporate arrogance and a stunning lack of empathy, ultimately contributing to Hayward's premature departure from the company.
How do you feel about this imminent change? Is it too late in coming for you?
Well, he had to go. He was the leader of this company. He was the one that allowed the company to run up the worst safety record of any oil company in the world.
The real reason Blockbuster fell to Netflix.
Did you go to Blockbuster or did they come to you?
No, we tried going to Blockbuster. For months, we tried reaching out to them. But this was this ultimate, we were doing $5 million a year. They were doing $6 billion a year.
Okay, so
we had 150 employees. They had 60,000. That we were like a gnat, to them, to an elephant.
Back in the early 2000s, when Netflix was a fledgling DVD by mail service and Blockbuster Video ruled the rental market, Netflix founder Reed Hastings actually offered to sell his company to Blockbuster for a mere $50 million. The story goes that Blockbuster CEO John Antioco, along with other executives, reportedly laughed them out of the room.
They're trying to keep a straight face at the hubris that this little company, $50 million in debt, at the trough of the meltdown, could possibly be worth $50 million. So as you can imagine, meeting goes downhill pretty quickly after that.
Antioco purportedly saw Netflix as a niche business, scoffing at their subscription model and failing to grasp the revolutionary potential of streaming and direct-to-consumer delivery. This monumental misjudgment, rooted in a staunch belief in their seemingly impenetrable brick-and-mortar empire, allowed Netflix to not only survive, but thrive, eventually becoming a global entertainment giant, while the once iconic video rental chain filed for bankruptcy in 2010.
And there's even the option to never get off your couch and order movies online or through the mail with Netflix. For these users and many like them, instant demand trumps customer service.
I know what I would like. I don't need someone to tell me, oh, this is the latest and greatest video. And I mean, you know what's coming out to DVD. You know what's at the theater. So you kind of already know what you want.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. iPhone is temporary. BlackBerry is forever. Not.
You guys see Apple's thing? Any reaction to that?
Plenty, yeah. It's an over-design trying to do too much toy that will crash any network gullible enough to take it on. It is, by every metric, the exact opposite of everything we do at Research in Motion.
In the mid-2000s, BlackBerry was the undisputed king of the corporate smartphone world, synonymous with productivity and security. So when Apple unveiled the original iPhone in 2007, BlackBerry's leadership infamously dismissed it as little more than a toy. Co-CEOs Jim Balsillie and Mike Lazaridis initially wrote off the touchscreen device, confident that their physical keyboard and enterprise-focused features would continue to dominate.
Ask anyone what they love most about their BlackBerry, and you will get the same answer every single time. The keyboard, the click. Okay? This entire market was born of our innovation, our idea to put a keyboard on a phone.
They failed to grasp the paradigm shift the iPhone represented, a focus on user experience, a vibrant app ecosystem, and an intuitive interface that would redefine mobile computing. This profound inability to foresee the iPhone's disruptive power, born from an almost arrogant belief in their own established success, ultimately sealed BlackBerry's fate.
In today's Tech Bites, the end of the line for older BlackBerries. Devices using the company's legacy operating systems no longer work as of today. Android-powered devices with the BlackBerry name are in effect. At its peak, BlackBerry had more than 80 million active users.
Which CEO moment made you cringe the hardest? Are there any we missed? Be sure to let us know in the comments below.